Why is Russia still run like a Cold War superpower? In 2025, why does a nation with one of the most educated populations on Earth still revolve around a single man? And why, after decades of post-Soviet promises, has democracy in Russia never really taken root? To answer that, you have to go back. Back before Putin, before the KGB, even before the Tsars, because Russia isn't just a country. It's a civilization that spent centuries trying to survive collapse by embracing control. And it all starts with fear. Russia's geography is brutal. No natural borders, flat open terrain. For centuries, enemies stormed in from every direction. Mongols, Swedes, French, Nazis. So instead of building freedom, Russia built fortresses. Instead of celebrating individual rights, they glorified strong rulers. In Russian history, safety has always trumped liberty. The result? A national memory that equates chaos with death and control with survival. That mindset didn't end with the Tsars. It just got rebranded. Enter the Soviet Union. When the Bolsheviks took over in 1917, they didn't erase the empire, they repackaged it. The Tsar's divine right became the party's infallibility. Orthodox priests were swapped for communist commissars. But the core remained, power centralized at the top, dissent crushed, narrative controlled. For 70 years, the USSR ran on fear, surveillance, and propaganda. And while the economy lagged behind, the machinery of control got sharper. Then, it all collapsed. In 1991, the Soviet Union fell like a house of cards. Suddenly, 15 republics broke free. Hyperinflation wrecked savings. Corrupt oligarchs looted national industries. Millions lost everything overnight. To the West, this was freedom. To most Russians, it was trauma. Enter Vladimir Putin. When Putin came to power in 1999, he was young, calculated, and ex-KGB. He promised not ideology, but order. And at first, he delivered. He crushed the Chechen rebellion, tamed the oligarchs, or at least forced them to play ball, and flooded state TV with a simple message: Russia is back. But here's the twist. Putin didn't build a modern democracy. He built a power vertical, a system where every mayor, governor, and media outlet answers upward, not outward. Elections exist, but they're carefully managed. Opposition is allowed, but only if it's no threat. And the courts? Still waiting on their independence. So why do so many Russians still support it? The short answer? Stability. After the wild chaos of the 90s, Putin's era felt like peace, even if it was a peace of silence. And then religion came back, not in the way Iran uses it, as law, but as culture. Putin aligned himself with the Russian Orthodox Church. Suddenly, Orthodox symbols were everywhere, in schools, in the military, even in missile blessing ceremonies. It wasn't about theology, it was about identity. Putin framed himself not just as a president, but as a defender of Russian civilization, traditional values, spiritual strength, family, faith, and empire. And in that identity, the church became a tool, not to challenge the state, but to sanctify it. Criticize Putin? You're not just unpatriotic, you're unholy. So how does this play out today? Russia isn't a dictatorship in the cartoon sense. There are elections, there's a parliament, there's an internet, even if it's filtered. But the lines are clear. Speak out too loudly, you're labeled a foreign agent. Protest, get jailed, challenge power, Ask Navalny how that goes, and yet millions still support the system. Why? Because for many, it still beats the chaos they remember. Because they've been told over and over that the West wants to humiliate Russia. And because in a place where history punishes the weak, strength, even brutal strength, still feels safe. But here's the thing the Kremlin doesn't want you to think about. Beneath the surface, things are cracking. Young Russians are leaving in record numbers. The war in Ukraine has exposed the limits of military pride. And as sanctions bite and bodies return home, the old myths are starting to rot. Russia is not just Putin. It's 145 million people, many of whom are waking up to censorship, to propaganda, to the difference between loyalty and submission. So here's the real question. What would Russia look like without a strong man in charge? Could it become something freer? Or would it tear itself apart? Thanks for checking out my channel. It's called Think Again. It's all about rethinking what we've been told. Don't just scroll. Let's hear from you. Do you think Russians want real change or just safety? Let's keep the conversation going. Conversation equals action.